would we be able to get an all right lunchtime like Haruko, if you could do that?
Lunchtime! Nature boy must stop.
There we go. Well, my name is Stefan Watson. I'm a voice actor that they flew in to go and help out with some of these moderations, so hopefully I do a good job. If you guys don't like it, please don't tell me. So we'll kind of go from there. But y'all did not go and come over here to go and listen over to me, so I'm going to bring on our fabulous voice actress. You've seen her in different things such as Fate Stay Night. You've probably seen her also, or heard her also over in Marvel's My Neighborhood Spider-Man, and she is absolutely fantastic in Dandadan. We have Kari Wahlgren.
I will say this is these are the most comfortable chairs I've ever had at a convention. Like they went all out with the gamer chairs.
I'm not joking. I was kind of thinking about that yesterday when I was doing a different panel, and it's just like normally I'm used to like the little plastic, little plastic chairs.
Fold out. Yeah, sadly, like what you guys are sitting on. Sorry.
There we go.
We appreciate you.
There we go. Okay, so just sort of like normal panel format, we'll go with a couple of interview questions, and then after that, we'll go and have your audience questions. We will have our microphone over here that you all can go and come on up to. So while we're kind of going and doing this and having a little bit of fun, make sure you guys are going thinking of your questions then. Sound good? All right.
Thanks for showing up, by the way, because I know there's a lot of things going on at the con, so it means a lot that you guys are here. Thanks for coming.
There we go. So one of the first questions I actually had for you, because again, I've been doing voice acting for a little bit, and your career, like you've been doing this for some time.
That's because I'm 100 years old, you guys. Been doing it for about 80.
Well, and it was one of those where it's like I had fun kind of like going back over inside your filmography and going like, Lupin the Third, I remember that. So when we're kind of looking at that, what were some of like your most memorable times when you were starting over inside your career?
Oh man, well, I mean, I guess the classic would be FLCL, because that was my very first anime ever. And people always ask, well, how did you get that role? And I answered a random casting ad. They didn't say what the project was. It just said, we're casting voices for an animated project. And I went in and auditioned. And then they said, we like you. We want you to come back for a callback. And we're going to send you home with a VHS tape. And it's all going to be in Japanese. But just see if you can kind of capture the vibe and the spirit of the character. And I did. I had no idea what was going on. But that's how I booked the role of Haruko. So I do remember with that job being so nervous because all of the clients from Japan were working very closely with the American team to really get the dub right. I didn't realize at the time, but they took so much extra time with that dub because they really wanted to get it right and make the cultural references translate as well as they could into English. But every day I was sure I was going to get fired. And, there'd be these big monologues by Haruko, and I'm trying to learn how to sync lip flap. And so I just remember that being a fascinating, cool, agonizingly stressful experience. And then after that, I kind of started, I think, learning more and more what the dubbing process was like. I have very fond memories of Samurai Champloo. Loved that one. That was an early on one. And just being blown away by how creative the music was. And, oh my gosh, I know, right? They did a limited release on vinyl of the soundtrack, and it sold out so fast that now I can't find it except for like on eBay for $700. So if anybody has any suggestions on how to get that on vinyl, let me know.
You actually really had like a trial by fire starting out like that.
Oh yeah, it was like not even being thrown into the deep end of a pool, but being thrown into the ocean. and somebody's saying, just learn how to swim, kid.
No joke.
Yeah.
There we go. I always I really kind of like how that goes because especially like with your background coming from like Kansas, it gives me hope coming from Utah when it's just sort of like, and again, like the town I live in, there's more cows than people.
I'm going to give you comfort. The town that I was raised in Kansas had one stoplight.
Same.
So they put in a second stoplight when I was in high school, and so many people accidentally ran it that they eventually took it out. There was an uproar. So that's the kind of amazing thing. And now more than ever, you can be from anywhere and start your voiceover journey. So, you know, for anybody out there that's interested, I really do want to encourage you that you don't have to live in, you know, LA or something like that to start a voiceover career. So
there we go.
Go Utah.
Yeah, don't say that.
You're like, no.
Right. You know, so when we're also looking at quite a few of the different projects you've been on, like you've been fortunate enough to act in so many different genres. I mean, you've got video games, anime, animated both in TV and, you know, over in film, and various actually like on-screen roles. What are some of the differences between some of the different genres that you work in that you actually enjoy?
So the way we record each kind of voiceover job is very different. With anime, they've already created it in Japan. So it's a much more technical art form because you do have to sync every line up to the mouth flap. You know, if the character's mouth goes, you can't say, I love you, I've always loved you, and I'll love you until the end of time. You have to say, I love you, because that's how they animated it, right? With US cartoons like Rick and Morty or Gravity Falls or Phineas and Ferb, we record the voices first and then they animate to us. So if you take a big pause, they'll animate a big pause. So that you have a little bit more freedom in that way. But the nice thing about the anime is that you get to see the characters' facial expressions. You get to hear that beautiful soundtrack in your headphones. So you're immersed in it in a more immediate way, whereas with US cartoons, you have to kind of create that immersion in your head, if that makes sense. With video games, you know, if it's something like Final Fantasy where it's already been created, once again, a lot of times we have to do things within a time frame. We might not have to do lip flap sync, but they may say to you, this line has to fit within 4.3 seconds. So you'll be like, everybody down on the ground, head out, head out, head out. And they'll be like, that was 4.8 seconds. It's got to be faster. So literally, a lot of times with those kinds of games, you're really working within time parameters. Whereas if you're working on something like, you know, I did Harley Quinn and Gotham Knights, and I was able to do a lot of the motion capture. So, you know, getting to do the physical work, and I'm getting to work off of another actor on a mocap stage and things like that. So, and then on camera is a completely different beast, because with that, there's a lot of hurry up and wait. So, you know, you may have to get to the set at 5:30 a.m. and then you may have to wait 3.5 hours, and then you shoot your scene, and then you wait another 2 hours, and then you shoot it again, and, you know, that sort of thing. Whereas with voiceover, usually it kind of works a little faster, so.
I'm glad that you have the hurry up and wait portion for on-screen too, because I didn't know that until this last year, and now there's nothing like waiting for 2.5 hours just for lighting, and you're just sitting there going like, what was my line? I can't even remember. So.
You got to really pace out your energy with on camera, I think, because if you show up and you're like in the headspace and it's like, you know, 2.5 hours later, they're like, okay, we need you. Come here, do your shot. You have to be able to get to the, you know, immediately, and not have burned it all out in the last 2.5 hours sitting around and reading a book.
Yeah. Which I've done so many times. So now kind of looking into characters specifically, you know, you've got some amazingly notable oh my goodness.
You can say creatures, it's fine.
It's too early. Characters, and especially being over in DC and over in Marvel, you know, and one of the questions I had, like, how does it feel being like two of the most influential parental figures? You've got Ma Kent from My Adventures of Superman, and then you have May Parker for My Neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, how does it feel being like the best moms in the world?
It feels amazing, you guys. It feels so freaking amazing. I was a big comic book lover growing up. I read tons of Wonder Woman. I read a lot of Batman, tons of X-Men, some Fantastic Four, some Spider-Man, like on and on and on. So I don't take it lightly to get cast as these characters. It's a huge deal for me. And it's really fun. You know, I was doing the voiceover panel with the other women here yesterday, and I like being at this stage of my career where I am in my matron era. I like it. It's interesting and it's fun for me. So yeah, it's a big deal. I'm fangirling over it secretly inside every day.
See, I'd also imagine, like, with some of the newer voice actors kind of coming onto these projects, they're like, hey, so this is how I'm going to help you and things like that. And have any of them ever been intimidated as soon as they're like actually realize, like, oh, I'm acting with you? Oh no.
It's very sweet. I've had that happen in retrospect. Like, people will come up later and they'll say, oh my gosh, I was so nervous because I was at the same callback as you, or oh my gosh, I was super nervous to work with you, or something. I mean, that's such an honor. But I do think once you've been around long enough that it is part of your job to pay it forward a little bit. So I hope that I'm going to try not to be a jerk, and hopefully inspire and encourage people that are just starting and coming up in the business, and keep it going for future generations. So
yeah. And that's that again, when it comes over to not only like the longevity, but also the actual achievements that you've been able to go and have from there. Like, not only is it a fantastic learning experience, I mean, I'm not sure how many people actually like know how many behind the voice actor awards you've not only been nominated but then have won. Like, I remember sitting there when they were actually asking me, like, oh yeah, would you like to go and do this panel? I'm like, yes, please.
That's so sweet.
So it's like, even, with having those sort of like, that sort of like award, it really shows not only like your talent, but just like how capable you are. And one of the awards that I can think of like the most is actually for your performance as Saber over in Fate Stay, and one of the questions that I remember way back when that I always had for you that I'm so glad I get to ask now, with thinking of Saber, were there any like powerful inspirations or like influences that you had inside your life to go and give like Saber such like a presence? Because that was one of the things I loved about that show, was just like Saber didn't feel like just it never felt like a regular character. It just had gravity to it.
I thank you so much. I really love that character. I think it's just this idea of channeling King Arthur, and she just happens to be a woman in that show. Joan of Arc was another kind of inspiration for it. Ripley in the Aliens franchise, I think, was another sort of character that I was thinking of in my head as far as wanting to channel that. And it's interesting because I think Sigourney Weaver had said in an interview that she was channeling Hamlet or Shakespearean characters when she was doing the first Alien movie. And I just think any of those historical figures really kind of figured into that for me, and a couple of my personal heroes, Sigourney Weaver being one of them.
Okay, now Ripley is never going to leave my head when I now watch Fate, so now I'm just gonna be, now I want this to be Ripley
Right?
so much.
I need a piece of fan art of like Saber with a face hugger or something. I don't know. Make it so, internet.
I was about to say, it's like, do we have any artists over here and whatnot? If not, I've got quite a few that I'm going to commission.
I love original fan art, by the way. I'm a huge, huge lover of that. So always feel free to send it my way online.
Awesome. I'm assuming we have quite a few different anime fans out over here. Would I be correct with that? All right, see, I'm already seeing some hands. Now, there's no way that I'm going to get off of this stage and not talk about Dandadan.
Yes.
There's not a shot.
Woo!
See? Exactly.
I love it. I'm here for it.
I want to make sure that I leave as much questions out over there open for other people, so I'm going to ask this one. Did anyone prepare you to become voice anime's hottest grandma?
Wow. You know, the funny thing is, I auditioned for Turbo Granny. And they called my agents and they said, she didn't book Turbo Granny, but we have another Granny that we think she could play. And that was how I got Hot Granny Seiko. And she was a lot of fun. And again, it kind of goes back to being in my matron era. I mean, there is no part in that show that I would want more than Seiko, because she's just over it and funny and badass and has been such a joy to play. And I think I was kind of prepared for the craziness of the show because of FLCL. Mm-hmm. Like, I couldn't be too shocked by anything, although I gotta say, a tiny bit shocked at the amount of ball jokes and things like that. Like, I was like, oh, okay, we're going for it. But yeah, it's been a joy. It's been so much fun to work on that.
Have you been able to put any bit of like you yourself into your actual performance as well?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, I do feel like there's a little bit of, if Haruko had aged a lot, that maybe she'd be a little like Seiko. And just, again, having been in the industry for so long and being surrounded by these young, very talented cast members, I feel a little bit like the matron of the group in a great way. So, yeah.
Awesome. From there, when we're looking not only as like your career way back when, but then going forward from here with the wealth of talent and the openness of the future, are there any like character types or specific genres that you're like yearning to actually perform?
The one franchise that I really want to be a part of, if they reboot Gem and the Holograms. Yeah. Hopefully they reboot it well. But yeah, I would play woman number 1 or whatever. I just would love to be a part of that if they reboot it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I would never normally ask this, but as we're having you line up for questions, I'm going to run to the bathroom because I just drank coffee, so I'd be awake for this panel. So please line up, and I will be right back. I'm going to sneak back there and see if they let me into a bathroom.
Since I will actually still be over here, if anyone also has just general newcomer voice acting questions, you're more than welcome to ask. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna sit up over here and drink boba. I can barely. Is that an axe?
Yes.
What is that from?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm telling you right now, there have been a few people that have walked around with props today, as I've kind of jumped into different little areas and whatnot, and I'm almost running up to people can I see your prop real quick? Can I hold it? Okay, we're good.
Kari's actually held this.
Hell yeah. Nice.
A lot of voice actors have, actually.
You just walk up to people a lot of voice actors have held this. I'm not gonna lie. So I used to cosplay a lot, and one of the better cosplays I ever did, if you guys are familiar with a show called Red versus Blue, I did Tucker years ago, and then like I wound up having like a battle rifle, and I wound up meeting like Master Chief and whatnot in full Tucker cosplay, and he's just like, "I want your gun." I'm just like, "Yes, here you go." And he didn't really give it back. He just sort of had it for about an hour until I came back. I'm like, "I want it back, please." So I'm glad you still have yours.
So, yes. Hello.
Hi. What I wanted to ask was, since you're the current voice of Katana and Mileena in Mortal Kombat, how do you differentiate the two? Like, what do you do when you play Katana, and what do you do when you play Mileena?
So, it's a great question. And by the way, I was a huge fan of Mortal Kombat 3 when I was a kid. They had one of those consoles at my local Pizza Hut, and I'd always main as Katana or Sonya Blade. And this project was so top secret, so I didn't know what I was auditioning for. They had fake names and fake sides. So I showed up for the first recording session, and they're like, "So we want you to know that what you're recording today is Katana in Mortal Kombat 11." And I lost my mind. Like, it was one of those bucket list things. So we recorded Katana, and it was very much they just wanted to tap into something very Tarkatan side for this game. We want to really lean into more of her creaturey side. So I think Steve Bloom played Baraka in that game, and so we were listening to Steve Bloom and some of his recordings and trying to figure out what would the female version of that sound like. So that's kind of how we came to her kind of more creaturey voice. And then with Mortal Kombat 1, that was even more fun and more challenging because, the Tarkatan side of Mileena was more of an affliction. So we had to figure out what does Mileena sound like when she's not possessed by this Tarkatan side, and still make her sound just a little bit different from Katana. So it's kind of just more of an attitudinal difference, just a little bit more edge and sass to Mileena, but still making her, a princess, an empress, if you will. So it was fun.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Kari.
Hi.
So you have 1,000 voices and credits. I checked BTVA. You have 1,000. In that library, what do you think is one that's underlooked or no one really talked about, but you really like for a lot?
Man, as far as anime roles, Last Exile was one that I liked that not a lot of people have seen. It's kind of a steampunk aesthetic, which I love. And it's kind of like kids forming a little found family in a dystopian universe.
Yeah, that's neat.
As far as video games, oh gosh, maybe Rogue Planet? That one was a lot of fun.
No, not that one.
Shoot. I'm trying to think of other ones that are... DC Superhero Girls, I wish that one would have gone longer as far as US cartoons. That was just a lot of fun to work on. Yeah, those are the first ones that come to mind. If I think of another one, I'll
Last
let you know.
House sounds interesting. Maybe I'll check it out sometime. But yeah, thank you for that.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Would we be able to get an all right lunchtime like Haruko, if you could do that?
Lunchtime! Nature boy must stop.
Thank you. That's all I'd ask.
I love it. I'm happy I could do that for you.
Hi,
Kitty
Kari.
kitty meow.
Hi. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So I really love your work on Rick and Morty, especially
Thank you.
Jessica. So we haven't seen her all that much since season 5. My question for you is, if she ever were to come back on the show, what kind of interactions would you want her to have with Morty? Like, would you want it to be just friends, or would there be the possibility of trying a relationship with him again?
I was so hopeful after the Time God episode that they would explore more of her being a Time God. And
Yeah.
I don't know how that would affect her relationship with Morty, but I was very intrigued to find out. And all the writers were like, okay, we're pushing our sleeves up and getting ready. And Dan was like, I just don't really want to go quite with that direction. So she may pop up some more. I can't really say too much, but yeah, for right now, I'm doing Rick Ship and Bug Ann and some other characters, and Diane, his dead wife.
Yeah, I love that episode when Diane comes back from the fear hole.
Yes.
It was so intriguing.
Yeah,
so
that was a really fun one.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and I hope we get to
you.
see more of Jessica at some point.
Me too.
Hi,
Hi.
Kari. How you doing?
Good.
You have a very great range in terms of voice acting. I was wondering, like, what voices, like high pitched, low pitched, do you find to be like the most like exhausting kind of, and like what do you do with the recover from that?
Ooh, you know what? Melina in Mortal Kombat has been probably the most vocally stressful character that I've ever done. And we found that the very first time they booked me for 4 hours, which they can do, and I could only sustain it for like 2. At about 2.5 hours, they're like, yeah, your voice is starting to fade out. So after that, they would only book me for 2 hours at a time, or they would do a couple hours of Katana and then a couple hours of Melina at the end. So yeah, I feel like for me, vocal rest is the most important thing that I can do. So if I have a character or a video game where there's like a lot of yelling and shouting and stuff like that, we'll either try to book them towards the end of the day, or I'll just really be quiet and not talk to people after I've done it, and just kind of give my voice time to recover for sessions the next day.
Hey. Thank you. Yeah. Have a lovely day.
Hello. I'm Jalissa. I was the Konata from yesterday.
I totally recognize you.
Yes. So I brought to your table yesterday my Blood Plus collection. I'm a huge fan of that series. What was it like voicing both Saya and Diva, and like that whole process just working with like that edgy series as a whole? It's one of my personal favorite series of all time.
I'm a big vampire fan, so I was really excited to do the Blood Plus anime because the chiropterans, and she's got to trigger the blade with her blood. I was just like, yes, I'm here for it.
It was also a very edgy teen, so like I get that.
Yeah, so I really was excited about that series. The thing that was so funny is, first of all, I just showed up one day and they were like, okay, so today you're going to be doing her sister Diva. And so we just need to differentiate the voices a little bit. And it kind of felt like it was going to be a 1-episode thing and then done.
Yeah.
So it was a huge shock to me that she turned out to be this huge character that appeared in multiple episodes.
Oh, yeah. Basically season 2 is like her whole
so I had no idea what I was in for with that. The other thing I remember about working on that show is that sometimes it happens that with the script translation, they will underwrite things or they'll overwrite things, so the sync doesn't match up. So I remember that we had to rewrite a lot of lines for that anime on the fly. So it was an exercise in patience. And luckily, I had been doing enough anime by that point that I could offer some suggestions to be like, well, what if I think I could make it fit if I say this instead and just cut out these 4 words, and they'd be like, yeah, great.
Yeah.
So we had to work together a lot to make the lines fit.
Oh yeah, especially with sometimes Saya has all these monologues sometimes too. So thank you.
You're welcome.
One of my favorite series. I love.
Hello.
Hey, good afternoon.
Come on up here. You're on Tangerine.
So I wanted to ask, are there any characters in particular that you enjoyed, maybe related to in that sort of way?
So are there any characters that I really related to?
Or maybe you just enjoyed the writing behind them.
Or just enjoyed a lot? It's so funny. The ones that I answer are usually maybe a little bit more not as popular. Mm-hmm. I loved Aunt Cora in the Spirit Riding Free series on Netflix. Like, I just loved that show, and I loved playing Aunt Cora. And there were actually a couple of moments that were very, very emotional on that show. And, there was a whole episode about covering Spirit the horse up with one of the homemade quilts that Aunt Cora had made, and my mom is a big quilter and stuff like that. So I remember getting very emotional during that. I have wonderful memories of Tales of Symphonia, the video game. And so it brings me a lot of joy that every single convention I go to, people still bring up Tales of Symphonia. And it's so cute because every convention, people will come up and they'll be like, you probably don't remember this game at all. Tales of Symphonia, I loved Rain. And I bonded so much with the team on that, the engineer, the clients, the director. We would all go out to dinners and lunches together and have these great talks. So that was a really special experience.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll give you guys like a quick little voiceover lesson. Mic presence. Go and try to be a little bit close over towards the microphone.
Right, and project.
Get in there.
Hell yeah. So, is there a role that you have done that not a lot of people know about, but you would like people to know about more?
The answer is yes, and I'm kind of blanking out on it. Well, I mean, Witch Hunter Robin gets some love, but I would love to see that one get another resurgence because I really liked that anime a lot. And I'm sad because I wasn't doing very many conventions when that came out, and so I missed seeing all the Witch Hunter Robin cosplay. So it'd be really cool to just see that one get a little reboot, some new life. I don't know, Lemony Snicket, the video game, was a super fun deep cut. Yeah, and so I had to like sing really badly in that one, and so that was a lot of fun. Trolls, The Beat Goes On would be another one where I played Bridget, and I really liked her a lot. So.
Thank you for everything you do.
Yeah, thank you.
You, sir.
Hi, Kari. Good seeing you again today.
Yeah.
Had a great time yesterday. Firstly, I wanted to give you a follow-up on that Samurai Champloo vinyl. I did look it up on eBay. You said it was $700. It's actually $175. So.
$175? Sold.
I'm gonna find that, you guys.
Yeah, look it up.
Stat. After this panel, it's on.
So I got a Fab 4 related question for you. Yeah. So pick 4 of your random characters, any that pop in your mind. I know you got like around 1,000 to choose from, so you got a lot to pick from. 4 of them. What would each of their favorite Beatles songs be?
Which would say that one more time?
What would each of their favorite Beatles songs be?
What would each of my favorite characters be?
Yeah, Beatles songs.
Oh, Beatles songs.
Yeah, for each of your characters.
Beatles songs. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna say something very controversial, but I don't like the song "All You Need Is Love." I know, because I don't think it's true. I think you need a lot more than just love. But I do feel like that would for sure be the theme song for one of my characters. Maybe it would be Lucky Star. That'd be kind of a cute little Lucky Star song. Oh gosh. Let's see. I Want to Hold Your Hand would be a fun one for some character. Oh gosh. I'm going to be thinking about this. I'm going to have answers for you like half an hour from now. And I'll be like, oh, this is the perfect answer. Yeah, let me think on it.
Yeah, I'll come back to you on that. Thanks.
Hi there, Kari. How you doing today?
I'm great.
So, first of all, I loved you as Phosphora in Kid Icarus Uprising. That's probably another deep cut. Yeah, that was a great. But my question, I know you also did Starfire. So I went to John DiMaggio's Q&A, and he said that Mark Hamill complimented him on his Joker. So did Hynden Walsh compliment you on your performance of Starfire in the same way? Like, what'd you think of it?
That's interesting. You know, she didn't. We just haven't run into each other for it, but we both really like each other and respect each other as actresses. So, I mean, I love what she does with the character. I hope she likes what I do with the character, but we've never actually talked about it.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. The question's actually for both of you.
Oh.
So,
Stefan, you get to say something.
So, especially from your years of work and actually doing from past experiences and mentorships with different experiences, what advice would you actually give to your first starting selves?
What I would basically say is like, so for like aspiring voice actors,
Say that.
It feels rocky at first, especially when you're starting out. Like I happen to luck into a few things, like Aku Aku doing that voice for Crash Bandicoot has been great, and I stumbled into that one in a story that I'm not sharing right now. But it's one of those where it's like you just have to be ready for those. But after a while, you have to stick with it, because there's times where it feels like, oh my God, I'm not really going and getting the work that I want to be getting, or any work. But then if you stay with it, you will go and make it there. So it's like that's one of the biggest things, is just having the patience and the presence of mind just to keep it as a goal and keep moving forward.
Okay.
That's a great piece of advice. The other thing I would say is I want to be a voiceactor.com is great information. I mean, it's D. Bradley Baker, who plays Klaus, the German fish on American Dad, started that website to answer every question he's ever been asked about voiceover. So it's a great resource.
Okay.
Yeah.
But thank you.
For anyone interested, there is a panel later on, Voice Acting Year 1. I will be one of the panelists over on that. So yeah, feel free to go and bring your voice acting questions for that.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Hi, I love your shirt.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you for bringing Food to life in Samurai Champloo. You guys all made that such an incredible journey. I loved every single part of everything you guys did in that. I had 2 questions. One, I saw you were in multiple episodes of Ghost in the Shell. I don't know if you were smaller characters or not. I just wanted to get
Teeny tiny.
Teeny tiny.
Like woman number 2 on the street. Oh my gosh, that was me.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if you continued in like the different shows, like background characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, just teeny tiny things.
Okay. The other question I had, I didn't know if you remembered your role in Elena in the game Vanquish.
Yes. That's one that almost never gets mentioned, though. Yeah.
I love everything about that game. I know it's a smaller game, a niche game, but you did amazing roles in that, and I love going back and playing that and listening to you guys.
Yeah, I wish I had something more interesting to tell you about the recording process. But yeah, that was a fun game. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey.
This question is for, how do you say your first name?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, Kari, like Ferrari.
Kari Ferrari, yeah.
Yeah, it helps.
Hi, my name is Max. I'm a huge fan. My fiance and I are huge fans of your role as Seiko Ayase from Dandadan. And I just want to ask, how were you approached to do that role for that character, and what kind of mindset do you go into when, voicing a character as badass as her?
Well, I think I mentioned that I actually auditioned for Turbo Granny, the really foul-mouthed, yokai. And I didn't get that part, but they said, we think Kari would be really good for Seiko, the other granny. And I just think, I really resonated and connected with her. Here's another great story, you guys. I went into a nail salon sometime not too long ago, and this young gal is doing my nails, and we're talking, and it came up that I have a little boy, and she's like, oh, that's so great. And then my age came up, and she looked at me and she's like, you're my mom's age. And and the girl doing my nails has a little boy. So basically, I could be a hot granny. So that experience happened kind of while we were recording Dandadan. And so I kind of took that in mind of like, yeah, we have to kind of reimagine what it means to be a granny. So I could just kind of take a lot of my own energy and everything into it and be like, peace out, y'all.
That is awesome. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Hey, again, we just don't many people here, so I figured I'd continue ahead of time. So as I sat down, I remembered a role that from one of my favorite video games of all time, and I sometimes forget you're this character, and I love this character a lot. Arne Highwind, like
Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, like what were your thoughts on that one? Yeah.
Oh, hey, pretty boy. Let's see what you can do. I loved that role. That was another one where I didn't know what I was auditioning for, and I showed up for. In fact, I think I did 2 sessions before they told me what it was for. So I was very excited about that one. And it really bummed me out because we had a Promptos episode where she got a little bit more screen time, and we had the whole expansion episode.
She was meant to her own episode, but that never.
Yeah,
that never
and they
happened.
canceled it right at the last second, so we were all prepared to record it. But I just thought she was such a great character and would have loved to have seen her incorporated more.
Yeah.
I've had people tell me that they found a glitch in the game where you could actually...
You can like have her in her party.
You can have her as part of your group.
Yeah.
So people would like over and over again figure out the glitch so that they could have RNA join their party. And that's like the biggest compliment, so...
Yeah. Yeah, so, it's so weird because I love that game so much. It's like my fingers all the time, and I always forget that you're in it.
Thank you.
I don't know why.
Final Fantasy was another one of those bucket list franchises that I always wanted to be a part of, and it was a big deal when I got to be a part of it. So I've had that happen with a few video game franchises. Final Fantasy, Mortal Kombat, Star Wars was another one where I was just like, man, my little inner geek just felt like I had officially made it once I got something in Star Wars. So so it's been really meaningful to get to be a part of those games. Thank you.
So I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, especially knowing that, like, again, like you said, you've got a little one. Like, how have they interact? Like, how did they interact with, with your actual like roles? Do you ever go like, "That's mom"? And
never. In fact, he's only 2, but we don't let him watch cartoons or TV or anything. So I think it's going to be a while before he makes any sort of connection. But I will tell you that I'm a rock star with making his toys talk. So the great thing about kids is that if they don't like something, they will let you know. So if I'm like making one of his little toys talk, and I'm like, "Hiya, kiddo, I missed you last night. How's it going today?" And if he goes, "Again," I'm like, "Yes, I have conquered all." So, and it's been fun because creatively it like forces me to make up new voices and things like that, and stay kind of creative. So it's been fun.
I was just thinking about that because I have kids as well, and I think I've developed like 4 voices that instantly. Honestly, it's more to bug them. Like it's. My oldest is 14, so it's just like, and we're doing this real quick. Dad, stop. No.
I'm taking notes then. 14, man.
Yeah. It's a thing.
I'm sending you support and strength.
Thank you. Needed. One other thing that, like, as everyone was kind of asking their questions, I was sitting there thinking about it's when you look over at some of like your more dramatic roles. Like one of the ones that kind of came over to mind was Blood of Zeus, which I only started like a few weeks ago, and I am losing my mind with that show. Like, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
So it's like, how does it feel going from kind of like more animated and almost like I don't want to say childish, but like more roles that are for kids over to something like that?
I love the fact that I've been able to do both. Things that are geared more towards an adult audience and things that are more dramatic versus things that are very, very much geared towards preschoolers. For me as an actor, it keeps it interesting and it stretches different muscles vocally. So I like the fact that I haven't just been doing preschool cartoons or just been doing video games, because it just kind of makes it more creative for me.
And like that kind of also blends into like, you play a healthy amount of like protagonist and antagonist. Do you prefer
villains? Villains.
I knew it.
The villains are always more fun, but the crappy thing is that the heroes are in more episodes. So you're guaranteed more work if you book the heroes, but you're guaranteed more delicious layers if you're one of the villains or anti-heroes. So
I'm going to remember that because right now I'm being casted a lot as like demons and things like
Oh,
that, and it
nice.
is so much fun.
It's so funny. There's a famous story from Mark Hamill that when he booked the Joker in Batman the Animated Series, his agent was like, "Ugh, I wish you would have booked Alfred because he's in every episode." But yeah, but he created this amazing, iconic character. So there you go.
There we go. Like, okay. And this maybe comes more just from, like, again, being over inside the business for a little while. Is there anything that you're looking at trying to, like, I want to create this, like, I want to make this show, or I want to produce this?
Yeah, I think at this point, I'm very interested in creating my own show.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm actively pitching and trying to greenlight one or two stories that I have that I want to tell. So I'm manifesting that right now. So just send me some good energy, everybody.
I absolutely will.
Yes.
It's something where it's like I know that it's like, oh, what is it? No, can't do that. But I'm just gonna say if you ever need someone, like short, a little bit dark over on this side, happens to live over in Utah, please make a call.
I'm taking notes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
it. I'm good. That's all I was hoping out of all of this.
Absolutely, yeah. And honestly, with pitching my own show, I'm more intrigued about being on the opposite side of it, casting, voice direction, show running it, rather than just acting in it. So,
oh
yeah.
Okay, wait. I've got a question for Axe real quick. Okay, you said that Kari went and actually held it.
Yes.
Did you do any sort of like battle cry with it?
I don't think I did a battle cry, but I did a very strong. Yeah, I was like trying not to get beheaded by the axe while also, wielding it. It's very big.
So like, as you've done more of like the conventions and whatnot, have there been like notable interactions that you go like, that was like, I don't want to know any bad ones, but it's like, that was awesome. I always look forward to like that.
I mean, I never did very many conventions before last year. Like I would maybe do 2 or 3 in a year, just because vocally it's actually kind of stressful because you're talking over a lot of, con noise and stuff like that, and you're talking all weekend long, and then my voice would be really tired for sessions during the week. But I just kind of really felt like I really want to meet people, and it can be kind of a lonely job, especially these days with voiceover. You're usually in a room by yourself with a director and an engineer on the other side, so you're like, man, does anybody care about what I'm doing at all? And you go to the conventions and you get to meet people and hear these beautiful stories. So I would say that there's always an experience at a convention where somebody comes up and they say, what you did made a difference. This is something that, my dad and I watched together all the time before he passed away, or this is the only thing that my son and I can bond over. And that's really meaningful for me. So I think in that way, the conventions have been just an awesome experience. And yes, there have been some very bizarre experiences as well. I think I have signed at least one pair of underwear that I really hope was clean. And there you go. Yeah, I had somebody tattoo my autograph on their body, and that was really cool. So stay in school, kids. I was like, and one day you too could be getting your name tattooed on the chest of one of your characters, and I don't know.
The best I've got is I signed a box of Triscuits because I did a Triscuits
Nice!
commercial.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing.
It was weird because when someone actually goes like, "Did you do that voice?" It's like, "Yeah." Can you sign this box? I'm like.
And then you have to wonder: do they eat the Triscuits, or do they just go stale and take on a life of their own, like Spam? Who knows?
That is a headcanon I was not expecting, and I was stuck.
Right? Oh, man. Yeah, we all have I think one of the things we all maybe love about conventions is that we find our weird, like people whose weird matches with our weird, and yeah. So I find that too at conventions. Anybody else have a question that they didn't get a chance to ask? Yes, you with the bullhorn.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth.
Hi.
You made a distinction before between when you record for video games and when you record for animations. How would you say the process in itself is different? Is the NDA process different, or is when you're in the studio, is the practice any different, or is it quite the same?
So as far as the NDAs and everything are concerned, the most secretive projects are always the video games. Like those are the ones where you're giving a blood sample and signing away your firstborn to make sure that you don't say anything. I've gotten to the point now where I just Jedi mind wipe myself, and I hope that a fan will say, "Hey, great job in XYZ game," and then I'll be like, "Oh, it came out. Great." And there are some things where we work a lot under fake titles. So you'll work on something called Project Yellow, or Arkansas, or Brown Bear, and sometimes they forget to tell you what it was. Yeah. So something will come out, and a fan will be like, "Oh my gosh, I really loved you as something in, Last of Us 2, or I don't know, something like that," and I'll be like, "What was that?" And then one of my agents or something will be like, "Oh, that was Brown Bear." And I'm like, "Oh, that's what that was? Okay, great." So, but at this point, like, I'm so scared to like say anything that I'm not supposed to, that I just kind of, like I said, mind wipe myself. And as far as the recording process, it kind of just depends. Most of the time, 99% of the time, you record alone with video games. Pre-COVID, we would do a lot more cast records together in one big room for animation. Not anime, but for US cartoons. Since COVID, that's unfortunately gone away a lot. So sometimes we'll do Zoom cast records, or sometimes, but a lot of times we just record by ourselves now too. So that's changed a lot how we record.
Over COVID, since you mentioned it, the horrific thing we try to avoid, did you end up recording in your own studio at home, or were you one of the few that were brought into the studio to work?
I was very lucky in that I had bought a house with a little tiny basement, and this was 2 years before COVID, something like that. And so I completely soundproofed the little basement and turned it into a studio. So when COVID hit, the week after, I was able to jump into recording from my house. So it was just a matter of getting the software, the recording software uploaded so that I could connect with the studios and being able to kind of learn how to connect on it. But I was ready to go pretty much immediately, which was pretty great. So I didn't really have that much of a bump with COVID.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I am so incredibly jealous of that right now.
That just reminded me, you bringing up like things you might have forgotten to do and stuff. I actually got to talk to Michelle Ruff a little bit about an older show that a lot of people forgot about because it was only an episode or two a lot of stars were in, which was Paranoia Agent.
Oh, yeah.
And you were Taiko or Taiko.
Oh, my gosh.
I wasn't sure if you remembered anything from that time. I know it was quite a long time.
I remember the name of the show, and that is all. But I was like, oh, yeah, I did do that one. But I remember nothing of the character. I'm so
worries.
sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I just wanted to see if anyone, I know
Yeah.
it was like 25 years ago or so. And
It's so hard. Every once in a while, somebody will come up and they'll bring a really obscure title like that. And I don't want to sound like a jerk by being like, I can't remember what character I played in this. But if it was 22 years ago and I was like a one-off tiny character, sometimes I don't always, I need a little refresher.
As long as you remember the show,
Yeah.
that's all. A lot of people even forgot they were even
No,
in.
I absolutely remember it.
All right, thank you.
He brought up, he signed a box of Triscuits, and I remembered, you were the Swiffer Mud Girl.
I was. I was the Swiffer Mud Girl in an on-camera Swiffer campaign, and they had this like styrofoam dress made of mud. It was like, I may be mud, but I have standards. Mops, please. They try to pick me up. I'm really hard to cat. And then they had this huge Swiffer pad up on the ceiling, and then they hooked me up to a harness, and they had like two guys and shoot me up to the ceiling so I could boom up against the Swiffer pad. I did all my own stunts, you guys. It was pretty awesome.
I just thought I brought that up because you brought up the Triscuits.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
I remember in the audition for that, they had a mattress in the room, and you had to throw yourself onto the mattress. And it was just like one of the most fun auditions I've ever done.
They actually made you throw yourself over on a mattress for the audition?
Yeah, they sure did. They're like, now you have to imagine that you've gotten flung up onto a Swiffer pad. And it was like, oh, I like your pad. Yeah, it was a blast.
I was about to say, it's like, recording auditions can either be like the most fun you've ever had or your absolute worst nightmare of like, I'm sending this off to another human being. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's... there have been a couple of voiceover auditions where I've just like finished recording it and I thought, this is the worst thing I've ever done. I guess I'm gonna send it off anyway. And I've booked one or two of those.
Yup.
Yeah. Archer, that was one. Where at the audition I was like, oh my gosh, I need to just retire to a small farm in the countryside right now and never do voiceover again. And they're like, so you booked Countess von Fingerbang? And I was like, great! Mom, Dad, guess what? No, I never told them about that one.
There we go. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out.
We cannot end on Countess von Fingerbang. There's got to be like one.
I was sitting there just going
Can I just be like, hey, everybody, go out there and have a great life, and if you want to be a voice actor, be persistent and work hard. It's like I cannot end my panel on that. No, but thank you guys so much for coming, and I will be over at my table signing things throughout the day today, so please come by and say hello if you haven't already. And Stefan, thank you for being such an amazing moderator.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
So,
there we go.
Thank you guys. Thanks.